it's Kendra here. So we're going to start with a series of videos about getting back into our bodies. So if you've been like me, I've been a little bit on the lazy side, unfortunately, and really actually feeling this sort of time, and for a period actually I was a little under the weather, we'll just say. But I've noticed how much everything sort of seems to be more sensitive, and how we're feeling into a little bit more of what's going on in our bodies during this sort of chaotic period of time that we have right now. So let's get started, and grounding in is always going to be our first exercise, so you want to get a comfortable seat. So some of these can be done in a chair too, but for the most part we're going to do the mat work like we do in the studio. And I think just finding the spine lengthening. Tall, straight spine is great, but sometimes that's not comfortable for everybody. So find what is best for you. And if you can almost imagine just a gentle lifting up through the abdomen and a gentle sort of holding the sky with your head and allowing some, release and less pressure into the shoulders, into the neck. Just drop the chin down slightly so that we're lengthening the back of our neck. Take a nice breath or two here, maybe even close the eyes if that feels comfortable. Find your space that you're able to settle in for the next few minutes. And calming the breath. So now start to notice the quality of your breath. So find yourself following the breath. Follow the breath down, and then follow the breath out. Just allow yourself to sit with that for a minute or two here. Calming, centering ourselves, grounding into the earth. Notice the ground beneath us. And feel connected to your seat. So yoga asana is taking a seat. And we'd like to feel firm and steady upon the earth. So now that you're following your breath and controlling or noticing that control of coming in and out, you don't have to change your breath. It's not about changing, it's about the awareness. We're going to take our arms and, still feeling into the breath, lift up to the sky. Allow the body to inhale a little bit more, and then on the exhale, bring the palms together and down into our hearts. Interlace the fingers and press out in front. Lift to the sky. Inhaling, and then on the exhale, let's take a little lean. It doesn't have to be big, just feeling into the side body, side muscles, and then bringing it up into a straight form to the other side, a little lean, just a gentle stretch, and then bringing it up. Opening the arms out and down, being careful of any issues you may have with the shoulder. Let's take easy seated twists. So take one hand to the knee, take the other hand behind, place that on the ground, lengthen and lift as much as possible to turn into comfort. No stress, just a noticing, feeling into the twist, feeling into the breath still. So this is still all about the breathing. Perhaps the head can turn. And then when we unwind, it's super, super slow and gentle. Inhale, lift the hands to the sky. Take the hands at the top and just interlace them here. And then we'll just take another little side bend to one side, your choice. You can follow me or do what feels best. Lift up to the sky. And just to the other side. More about a stretch into the side body at the moment than controlling the breath. And then lifting that up. and then release that down. You can start to turn already if you feel that, but if you need to be straight and then walk, gentle a twist, you can always just walk them around, or you can come from that twisted state involving the core just that little bit more. Hand is pressing into the earth, to the back body, allowing not a rigidity, but a lengthening and a lift. Kind of how you would imagine sort of those ballerinas lifting, except we're doing it more gently. And just slowly, slowly unwind. So we're still in a seated position, but I know that's uncomfortable for some of us. So we're going to go into hands and knees. So if you're able to roll forwards, take the knees hip width apart, hands under the shoulders. Try and create this transition. Make it easy on yourself, a little bit wider if it's needed, depending on how your body has been and how it is today. It changes every day. So we're going to drop into cat-cow. We'll do two versions of this. Drop the center belly, lift the tailbone, lift the heart and chin. Inhale. Exhale, draw the tummy in and lift up, rounding the back. Drop the head, let it relax. Drop the belly down, inhaling. Focusing on the center for this part. And then exhaling, soften into the elbows. They don't have to be hard. Especially if there's any shoulder problems. You may want to lean back and forwards. We kind of like it to be straight up and down. And then inhale, drop the belly. But there's room for us to shift and move because it's practice. We're practicing. So exhale. We want to be aware of our posture and bring it into a straight back. But we want to be aware, but we don't have to be, we have to listen to what our body is doing or able to do in the moment too. So we don't try and look like someone else. You look like yourself, but you become aware of how it is better to set up the shoulder by putting the weight directly sort of over top evenly. Now I said we'll do another version, so now we'll do the wave. I love this one. So we're going to drop lift the tailbone, but drop the lower pelvis and the lower belly first. And then like a wave, you drop the higher belly, and then the ribs, and then the heart, and then we lift up into the throat, into the ears, lift the ears. The chin, not so much. The head should kind of be available to move the chin up and down. So lift from the ears. And then we go back the same way, but don't bring your chin in first. So bring the tailbone in first. Curl that tailbone in. This is slow, methodical. And then tuck into the lower belly, the lower tummy. Tuck into the upper tummy and the ribs. Tuck into your heart. Give your heart a hug with those shoulders. And finally and lastly is the head dropping down. So wave here, you can do this super slow, you can do it a little bit more fast, or you can go back to the original just up and down of cat and cow, cat back, cow back, and just see what's available today. Curling in, this takes a little patience, there's a little strength involved into the arms. So some wrist problems can still do it here. It will just be very, very subtle. And that's okay. And actually I was sort of even exaggerating more than I want to go. I like to have, so hopefully you're just continuing to do this as I talk. I like to have sort of that curl, that wave in through the spine so that you're feeling into each and every vertebrae. So maybe perhaps one more if that's feeling good. If it's not, then you sit. So at any point in time you need to tap out, please do. And curl, so the tailbone initiates the movement as we roll into flexion and extension. So from here, it seems a little natural to go into our first down dog. So plant the hands, take the hands, spread the fingers, have it nice and even with your shoulders, And again, it's what's available. Some people with shoulder issues need to bend their elbows a little bit. Some people need a little wider stance. Tradition is alignment, but again, we play with it. Curl the toes, depending on your body. And then for some of us, hovering. Some may need to go right into down dog because it's a little hard anyway, so if you know you're that person, go there now. Curl the toes and hover. Hover, we shift back. I'm going to shift and I'm going to straighten my arms into my down dog arms so that my shoulder is supporting it. And then I'm going to lift my knees. So I'm going to push back enough that they come off the ground, but I'm not straightening. Then I'm slowly, so those that were hovering a long time, good for you. Slowly straighten, and then we're going to just pedal. Work at dropping the knees, dropping the heels. I'm hoping my voice comes across as I'm upside down. Just rock those heels back and forth. When you're ready, take them back. Straighten into the shoulders. Maybe open the shoulder blades out. I don't know if I can demonstrate this, where we open around the shoulders a little bit to create more stability. There should be stability here. It should feel firm. If it doesn't, you've got to be more careful. Until it does, it will come. Again, it's a practice. And we press back just to your own comfort level. And then we're going to come down onto the knees. Take your right foot, bring it forwards, and lift up your left arm. We're going to open the arm to the side, bring it forwards to the front of the room, and then we're going to place it down on the outside of our knee, twist, hold here. Inhale the back arm up and around, or shoulder problems, just bend the elbow and go straight up. So up and around, and then just holding, just lengthening. Lengthen, go to the sky. Exhale that arm down. Perhaps you can come into planting the hand on the waist. We're going to bring that front hand down, maybe across from the foot. Press or turn into the shoulder, and then that back arm is going to lengthen and lift up to the sky. Those that have a little more practice can pop that back knee off and hold. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sweep the arm down and around. Big movements. Big arm movements. 2 more times. 1 more. Bring it down and around into the inside. Plant the back knee down and just stretch and lengthen here. Uncurling the toe if that feels good. You can keep it curled. Depends on your knees and your kneecaps, so if you need a cushion or a pillow under the knee, it's a good idea. Those that have a little more flexibility, open that up, maybe widen the hands. Open. Breathing here. Bring the knee back in. Bring it back. Going to stretch the front leg. Straighten the knee as much as possible. Those that can grab the foot, you can do that. And then we're going to slide that leg back however that works for you. And go into Balasana. Balasana is child's pose. So we're going to sit on our heels if possible. Everybody's child's pose can look different too. We're going to curl forwards and roll down. While you're here, hold for another minute or 2, but breathe into the back. Open. Feel into the back body as we're curled and we're contracted or pressed in, compressed into the front a bit. And then gently come out of that, walk the hands forwards. A little cat-cow if we can, dropping the belly down. Chin and tailbone up and curling in. Wave if you wish. Initiate with the pelvis first. So that is important. Pelvis moves first. and dropping it into the same position. We're not really changing it, but curl the back pelvis in, tuck the tummy up, and round and lengthen. From here, let's go back into our down dog. So puppy pose, for those that have trouble with down dog, you can come into a nice little stretch there if you want, bringing the hands out and staying on your knees. Those that can hover a little bit, press it back, and then eventually straighten into your down dog. Pedal that out a bit, and then drop the heels back to develop and maintain or sustain down dog. Two more breaths. One more. Bring it down to the knees. Now we're going to take that left knee forward, so bring the foot forwards and come up into a kneeling stance. Okay. I'm trying to remember what I did before, but I think we went out. Oh, we went out and in and down. Now I think we actually took that up and around. So those that wish a little bit more stronger stretch, take it up, down and around. Lengthen here. Hold. Play with the toes a bit. Feel into the foot, all corners of the foot on the ground. And taking a little pressure off of that knee. Take the back arm now, let's lift that up. And around. Bring the hands down into the inner portion inside. Curl the back toes and pop that knee up. Now in the other one, you could have been having it up before if you wished. If you repeat this video, then perhaps that's what you'll do. Bring the back knee down and open up the hip. Maybe even widen the stance a little bit. Press a little more into your fingers. You can straighten the back toes if that feels okay. If you have any knee issues, which I do on this knee, so I'm going to keep my toes curled on this one. Hopefully I didn't make it shorter. Because of that, I may have. Have a little laugh, have a little breath. Breathe in. Feel into sort of the areas that are just, they're wanting this, they're wanting to open. It's so hard to come to the mat, but once we're here, it's so good. So good. So maybe one or two more breaths if you're done, whether it's your wrists or your hips. You gotta listen to all of your body. We're gonna just walk it back, lengthen the front leg, stretch here. Those that can reach the toes, give a little extra. And gently unwind, slide that back. Now I know in the beginning, so you know, it takes practice to go straight back, and that's what we do want eventually. But I know some people need to sort of wiggle out of it, so if it's better to take it around, that's fine for now. In the long term, if you do a lot of strong practice, then you really do want to pay more attention to the alignment. We're going to do child's pose with a wide knee. This is my favorite because it allows everything to just sink down. So we're going to go on to our forearms to start. Breathe in across the back body, and the back body is the lungs, but it's also the into the just below the neck. It's into the lower ribs, low back if you'd like, into the abdomen as well, so that it helps expand everything as a whole. Go a little lower if that's available. Three more breaths. So slowly, slowly coming out. So that's just opening up the back body a little bit. So that's a 20-minute practice there. So you can stop it here or you can continue on. So we're going to continue and do some moon because it's a harvest moon. It was just here. Annapurna was giving us our blessings with the harvest, with the food that we have, and it's October, so there's I think it's a beautiful month because Canadians have Thanksgiving in this month along with the bounty and the harvest, and it just makes sense that that all comes together and that we bring a sense of gratefulness into our practice. So if you are able to do toe, forget what it's called, whatever, we sit on our toes, stick the toes on, bend the toes, stick them under, sit on them. So if you do repeat this video, you'll know that that's what you could have done while I was talking. It's not for everybody though, because it's quite powerful. So from that toe curl or toe bend, we're going to come up and let's transition with doing a down dog. So walk it forwards, bring it into your down dog, whatever that looks like, right? So we've got to honor where our bodies are today. Mine's pretty stiff, so just opening the shoulders, pressing back. Again, the firmness is one, it's, because I know people slide out. It's practice, actually. Part of it is just practice. Part of it is spreading the fingers and creating this seal, hasta bandha, with the hand. So if you think of like an octopus tentacle, how it has that little like suction, like cup in the center. We're going to take almost a little bit of the palm of our hand off the mat to create that little suction while grounding, not gripping. So if you're gripping, then it's something's, get out of it and go into it again. Something's up. So we're spreading and we're planting. You want to think again, we're going in with the earth element, right? We're planting seeds, we're planting roots into the ground. So think of not the tips of your fingers as those roots, think of the flat, the placement into the earth, and feel that you are held and supported by Mother Earth. There we go. So, walking forward, if you were in down dog, walking it back, have a little knee bend, maybe even support and help on our way up. Inhale to the sky and exhale into our hearts. Now I'm going to turn to the side. I hope this comes out in the video, hopefully, but if you're with me, you've done this before. So toes to touch, lift up on the toes, plant it down, find your space and find your grounding cord. Root into the earth, draw the tummy in, draw the hips down. Take a few nice grounding breaths. Follow your breath into those toes, into beyond the feet, into the ground and the earth. Open the palms up, facing forwards. Drop the chin down, just gently extending through the back of the neck. And just like you've got a little bit of the sky balanced on the crown of your head, a soft lift throughout the whole spine. And let's do a few moon salutations, just a very basic bob to start today. Inhale, lift. Exhale to your right. Inhale, lift. Exhale to your left. Inhale, lift. We will add goddess in the center here, so we're going to take it out to the right. Turn the toes out, drop into a goddess form. Shift your feet, open into your triangle, reach and drop down. Just any amount, gentle in the start. We're stiff, we're just starting out again. Drop that back hand down and around and go into a lunge. Let's do lunge. So we've turned and lifted the back heel, drop the hips, and from here we can plant. So take a step and plant in for warrior one. Bringing it in and turning 2 forwards, finding your center again in goddess. Take the right side, draw that towards center, and then step towards the center of your mat. Lift up, a little bit of a back bend, and then into center. Okay, inhale, lift to the left first. Inhale, and exhale to the right. Inhale, step out to the left, turn the toes out, heels in, drop into goddess. Turn in a T formation of the feet, toes at the front are facing forwards, lean forwards, triangle, drop it down, doesn't have to be far, it can be here. If you need support, do not support or do not lean on your knee. You can touch, you can touch, you can touch. Okay, try and let this do the work. Thank you for everyone who's staying there. Drop it down, turn the back heel. Let's do lunge. I do shift my foot out. Hopefully I'm not getting cut off in the video. Shift it out. I think we need to shift, especially if we haven't done it in a while or if we're off balance. So replant the back foot onto the ground and lift up into your warrior one. Turn back into goddess. Situate your feet so that they're balanced. Toes out. Drop the core in. Elbows up. And then into center. Step it together. Little back bend. And into the heart. So let's do that 2 more times. I won't instruct as much. We'll just go with the flow and hopefully I'll just call out the postures. Inhale, lift. To your right crescent. Inhale. To your left crescent. To the sky. Goddess. Shift into triangle to your right side. Flow down. Have a block here maybe. Back arm comes down. Lunge. Replant. Lift to the sky. Drop that hip in. Caught myself. And goddess. To the sky. Behind. And center. Find your center. Find your reverence in your body, in your spirit. And again, inhale, lift to the left now. Crescent. To the right. Step it out, goddess, to your left. Find triangle to the left and fold. Any amount. Drop it down and around, lunge. Come into warrior one. turning into goddess. Sorry, I'm sticking my ribs out. Don't do that. Curl up, back, and in. Again, slow, gentle, helps us not to create injuries, and only go to where your body is saying so today. Inhale, lift. To the right. Inhale, lift. To the left. Inhale, lift. Goddess. Any amount, if it's too hard, stay up high. Triangle. Modify where you need to. And of course, this is one of our simpler ones, so we will add to this as we go on. Lunge. Replant. Woo. Warrior one. Goddess. Together. Center, back, and into the heart. Other side. Inhale, lift. To the left, crescent. And to the right. Goddess. Triangle. Bring it down into lunge. Replant into warrior one. So feel the connection, movement, breath. Open into goddess. Straight, center, back with the arms. And let's fold forwards, releasing down to the ground any amount. Again, I'm pretty stiff, so take a couple breaths. See if there's any further you can go. Again, you can hang, you can bend your knees. Inhale, lift to the sky. Little